Hello, it's Crafty Rhea, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be recycling these two cards. The only problem is I don't have an auntie. I don't have anyone that I call auntie. I have aunts, but I don't call them auntie. So I am an auntie, and I love it when my nieces and nephews call me auntie, but I don't have one to send these cards to, but that's okay because I'm going to show you what you can do when you have a situation like that. I received these two cards in Happy Mail from Sinead in Ireland, or Janet, as we know her here in the US. And I love them. They are such pretty cards. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with this one since it is the one that is a little more simple. It is very silvery and shiny. And I picked a card base for it. I'm going to use this pink 5x7 card base. And we'll go ahead and mat it on that. I also picked out some ribbon. This is some bright blue sparkly ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it reminds me, it matches that perfectly. And I found this cute embellishment in my stash. I got this in Happy Mail, and I apologize, I don't remember who sent it. If you're watching, let me know. I'm trying to do better about keeping track of who sends me what. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to cut Auntie off right along there, right underneath that blue line. And I will set this aside. And then I need to trim the sides of the card in a little bit because it's too wide to fit on the card base. And then I will hold this up to the card base and kind of see where we're at. I think that's pretty good. Now maybe I'll take a little bit more off of each edge. All right, let me try that. I think that works out pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom since there is a dent on the bottom. All right, so we have that. This card is going to be super simple. And this ribbon, I think, then is the perfect size for the bottom. And since the card background is already pink, I'm not going to mat it on anything else because then I would have to cut it down even more. I'm going to put some adhesive tape around the edges of the back of the card. I've got my big tape runner today, my ATG. That is from the Tape Depot, but they also have similar ones on Amazon. And that tape refill is very inexpensive. I'm going to just cut this a little bit larger than the card. And then I will put adhesive along the back of this. I'm going to put 2 lines of adhesive, and I'm going to bring it all the way out to the end, even though it's longer than the card. I lied, I did 3 lines. Because I want it to stick down since I'm not wrapping it around the back. Then I'm just going to line that up on the front of the card and use my scissors and just trim the excess away. And this ribbon has a little bit of glitter fallout. It is not that bad. It's usually just when you're working with it. Once it's on the card, it usually stays pretty good. And then I have this sticker, which I am just going to find kind of a blank spot in the card there. And I'm just going to adhere that there. And it just says, wishing you a fabulous birthday. I'm going to leave the inside blank for now. And I can handwrite a sentiment on the inside, or I can stamp something. So there we go. There is one card done. The other card will be a little bit more complicated. It has a couple, a few more elements to it. It has this string down the side, which is totally attached to the card with that piece of ribbon. Of course, it says Auntie. It has the bunny holding the flowers, which I think would make a really cute card right around Easter. And it says here, a day of perfect happiness with love and laughter too. So it also has this piece on the inside that was a liner, which I'm going to carefully remove that. I'm going to take my bone folder and stick it up underneath and just kind of push on it and separate the paper. That way it doesn't really tear the paper. I'm going to use this on the card. I have a card base that is an A2 size card base. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is kind of my standard, or kind of the standard. And I thought this would mat on here quite nicely. And then it would match the card really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start by cutting this down to 4 1/8 inch wide by 5 3/8. I think I'm going to go with this other card, other side. There we go. And I must have cut it a little bit too narrow, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. This decorative element I do want to keep, but I want to cut this edge here just to make sure it is a nice square edge. And then I'm going to cut it just on the other side of the edge of that ribbon there. So we have that piece. And then I'm going to cut the word Auntie off, but I have to be careful because part of the word Auntie does come down pretty low. So I'm going to have to find the sweet spot right there and not take off too much flowers, but also to make sure I remove all of the word Auntie. There we go. And then that is still intact. I will set that part aside. And then I want to cut out this bottom sentiment. And I'm going to trim down this side just to even this image out. So we have that image. Then we have this piece, which I am going to trim up to put on the inside of the card. Okay, now back to this card. We have this image. I trimmed him down just a little bit more. I went in my stash and I got this darker pink cardstock. We have this ribbon and we have this scrap. So I'm going to go ahead and mat this on this pink with just a really small border. I just didn't think putting it on that lighter pink, I didn't think it popped enough. And as you can see, this already has some bling on it. So we are good to go in the bling department. I'm going to trim this down. There we go. And since I didn't make this big enough, I'm going to mat, or I'm going to put this on the card base with extra space down here. I'm going to push it up towards that side. You'll see why in a minute. And then I will be putting this down at the bottom. So I will put adhesive on the back of this. I think kind of like there is good. And I'm going to get my scissors and just give this a trim. It's a little hard to trim over that piece of twine there, but it works. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and cut it just a little bit longer than the card base. I wonder if I can lift this up a little. I can. Okay, good. I do want to tuck my ribbon behind these pieces, so I'm going to lift them up a little bit. I'm kind of cheating. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my ribbon. And going to line up my ribbon over here. Get rid of my excess adhesive. This adhesive just rolls off with your finger if you get too much. And then for this top piece, I'm going to carefully fold it behind. And for the bottom piece, I'm going to trim. And lift this bottom part up and tuck it behind it. And then so those pieces stick down, I have my Elmer's glue, and I'm going to just add some glue up under that and press it down really good. And then I'll do the same down here at the bottom. And I will press that down real good. I did not plan this out properly. I usually tuck it before I adhere it to the card, but that's okay. And then I will adhere this to the card. I have some adhesive dots that I'm going to put it on, some foam. These are foam circles. I just happen to have these left over. I think they're from the Dollar Tree, but I've had them many years. These are very old. And I will put that up on those foam dots. When I reorganized my craft room, I kind of found a lot of these little old things, and I thought I would use them up. There we go, and I have this embellishment, this flower. Somebody sent me this in Happy Mail. I think these flowers, I have 2 of them. I think they're from the Dollar Tree. They do have matching butterflies, so that's why I think they are from the Dollar Tree. And I have to decide kind of where I want to put that. I think I will put it right about there. I'm going to add some Elmer's glue to the back of this. And actually, I'm going to add a couple more pieces of this foam tape. I'm going to cut this piece in half, and I'm just going to add 2 of these little pieces just to make sure there's enough stick on the back of this, since it's going to be on multiple surfaces. There we go. So there is that card. We have the cute little bunny holding the flowers with the little bling there, which matches the bling there. I used the background paper from the inside of that card. So for the inside of this card, I have this sentiment. It says, "A day of perfect happiness with love and laughter too," which is kind of plain by itself. So I thought I wanted it to say, "Wishing you a day of perfect happiness with love and laughter too." So I found these stamps. These are by Gina K, and there is the stamp "Wishing You." So I'm going to go ahead and pull that stamp out. I'm going to put that right on this little stamping block. I got these stamping blocks on Amazon in a huge pack, all different sizes. Okay, I have a little bigger piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to the back. And I'll give this a trim. All right, and I think this will fit right there. That is very good. I have my VersaFine ink pad. I love this ink for sentiments or anything that has fine lines. This ink pad is awesome. I'm just going to line that up. There we go. I like that. And then I will adhere it to the inside of the card. Since I used VersaFine, it sometimes takes a while to dry, so I will adhere it after a while. I don't want to smear it at all. So anyway, we have these 2 cards all done. I have these 2 Aunties left over. If any of you will be able to use them on a card, please leave me a comment below and email me your address, and I'll be happy to put these to you in the mail. The first person who emails me will get them. I'll hang on to them for a while, and then if I don't get any responses, then I will either use them for something else or I will throw them out. That back of that paper would go pretty good on something. So please do let me know if any of you can use these sentiments that say Auntie. I'll be happy to send them along to you in the mail. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click on that subscribe button down in the corner and then click on the bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. If you haven't yet joined my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea, I'd love to have you join me over there. Head on over there and just answer a couple questions and I will get you right in. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you very much. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.